It was a quiet Saturday morning in the suburban neighborhood of Willow Creek when Karen Thompson's voice pierced the calm, trembling with urgency as she dialed 911. "There's a suspicious man breaking into the house next door," she exclaimed, her tone laced with panic. She described a black man unloading boxes from a truck, claiming he didn't belong in their safe community. Little did Karen know, the truth about the man and the house would unravel a reality so shocking it would leave her utterly speechless. Karen Thompson had lived on Maple Drive for 15 years. At 52, she prided herself on knowing every neighbor, every car, and every routine in Willow Creek. The neighborhood was a tidy grid of colonial-style homes, manicured lawns, and white picket fences, a place where change was rare and newcomers were scrutinized. Karen, a part-time real estate agent and self-appointed guardian of the block, made it her business to keep things orderly. She wasn't shy about confronting dog walkers who didn't pick up after their pets or delivery drivers who parked too close to her driveway. To her, vigilance was a duty. That morning, Karen stood at her kitchen window, sipping coffee, when she noticed a U-Haul truck parked in front of the vacant house at 142 Maple Drive. The house had been empty for months, ever since the elderly couple who owned it moved to a retirement home. Karen had heard it was sold, but no one had mentioned a new neighbor. She squinted as a man stepped out of the truck, carrying a cardboard box labeled books. He was tall, black, and dressed in a navy polo and jeans. He moved with purpose, setting the box on the porch before returning to the truck for another. Karen's pulse quickened. She didn't recognize him, and in her mind, that was reason enough to be suspicious. She grabbed her phone and dialed her friend Susan, who lived 2 houses down. "Susan, there's a man at the old Miller place. He's unloading boxes, but I've never seen him before. Do you know anything about this?" Susan, groggy from sleep, said she hadn't heard about anyone moving in. "Maybe you should call the police, Karen. Better safe than sorry," she suggested. That was all the encouragement Karen needed. She dialed 911, her voice sharp and authoritative. "Hello, this is Karen Thompson at 140 Maple Drive. There's a suspicious individual at the house next door, 142. He's a black male, maybe 30s, unloading boxes from a truck. I think he's breaking in. No one's supposed to be there. Can you send someone immediately?" The dispatcher, calm and professional, assured her officers would be dispatched to investigate. Karen hung up, satisfied, and returned to her window to keep watch. The man, unaware of the call, continued unloading boxes. His name was Marcus Evans, a 34-year-old software engineer who had just purchased 142 Maple Drive. Marcus had spent months searching for the perfect home for his family, his wife, Lauren, and their 2 kids, Ethan and Mia. Willow Creek, with its good schools and quiet streets, seemed ideal. The closing had gone smoothly, and today was move-in day. Lauren and the kids were still at their old apartment, packing the last of their things, while Marcus handled the heavy lifting. As Marcus carried a lamp inside, 2 police cars pulled up, their lights flashing silently. Officers Daniel Rivera and Emily Chin stepped out, hands resting near their holsters. Karen watched from her window, her arms crossed, feeling validated. The officers approached Marcus, who set down a box and wiped sweat from his brow. "Good morning, sir," Officer Rivera said, his tone neutral but firm. "We received a call about a possible break-in. Can you tell us what you're doing here?" Marcus, surprised but composed, smiled slightly. "Morning, officers. I'm Marcus Evans. This is my house. Just bought it last month. I'm moving in today." He gestured to the U-Haul, where more boxes were stacked neatly. Officer Chin raised an eyebrow, glancing at the house. "Do you have any proof of ownership? ID, paperwork, anything like that?" she asked. Marcus nodded, reaching into his back pocket for his wallet. "Got my driver's license, and I can grab the closing documents from the truck. They're in a folder." Karen, still watching, felt a flicker of doubt, but brushed it aside. She'd heard stories of people posing as homeowners to scam their way into properties. She wasn't about to let her guard down. Meanwhile, Marcus handed his ID to Officer Rivera, who examined it while Chun radioed the dispatcher to verify the information. Marcus walked to the truck, retrieved a manila folder, and showed the officers his purchase agreement and deed, both clearly listing 142 Maple Drive and his name. Rivera scanned the documents, then handed them back. "Looks legit," he said to Chun, who nodded. "Mind if we take a look inside, Mr. Evans? Just to confirm, everything checks out." Marcus hesitated, not thrilled about the request, but understanding the situation. "Sure, no problem. I haven't moved much in yet, but you're welcome to look." He led them to the front door, which he unlocked with a key from his pocket. Inside, the house was mostly empty, with bare walls and hardwood floors. A few boxes sat in the living room, and a rolled-up rug leaned against a corner. The officers glanced around, noting the absence of anything suspicious. "Appreciate your cooperation," Chin said as they stepped back outside. "Looks like everything's in order. Welcome to the neighborhood." Marcus exhaled, offering a polite smile. "Thanks. Just trying to get settled." As the officers turned to leave, Karen emerged from her house, her face a mix of curiosity and indignation. "Officers, is everything okay? I called because I saw this man and didn't recognize him. You can't be too careful." Her voice carried an edge, as if she expected them to thank her for her vigilance. Rivera, maintaining his professional demeanor, nodded. "Ma'am, we've verified that Mr. Evans is the homeowner. He just moved in. Everything's fine." Karen's jaw tightened. "Homeowner? Are you sure? That house was empty for months. No one told me it was sold." Her tone suggested she deserved to be informed. Marcus, standing nearby, caught her words and turned to face her. "I'm Marcus," he said, extending a hand. "Bought the place a few weeks ago. My family's moving in this weekend." Karen stared at his hand, then crossed her arms. "Well, I didn't know. Usually we get a heads up about new people." Officer Chen stepped in, her voice calm but pointed. "Ma'am, Mr. Evans has every right to be here. His paperwork checks out. Maybe you could introduce yourself properly." Karen flushed, caught off guard by the subtle reprimand. She muttered her name and turned back toward her house, her confidence shaken. Marcus shook his head slightly, returning to his truck. The officers drove off, and the street fell quiet again. But the story didn't end there. Later that afternoon, as Marcus continued unpacking, a delivery van arrived with furniture for the house. Karen, still unsettled, watched from her porch. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. She called Susan again, venting about the encounter. "They say he owns the place, but I don't buy it. Why wouldn't the realtor tell anyone? I'm going to look into this." Susan, less invested but curious, suggested Karen check the public records. Karen spent the evening digging online, pulling up property records for 142 Maple Drive. To her surprise, the sale was legitimate, registered to Marcus and Lauren Evans. But something else caught her eye, a lien on the property from years earlier, tied to a dispute with a contractor who'd worked on the house. The lien had been resolved, but Karen's mind raced. Was there more to this? She decided to call the real estate agent who'd handled the sale, a woman named Linda Carter, whom Karen knew from her own work in the industry.